Resolving conflicts in some flashpoints across the country is on the front burner in many fora in the country. Many posit that the peace efforts should be designed with long-term gains as against firefighting solutions. Political leaders also sue for peace in the wake of violent confrontations and other security challenges confronting the nation. Also on Political Update today, the balancing act of maintaining the health and wealth of the nation in the face of the negative impact of COVID-19. I am Fisayo Gumfui. Welcome. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde and his Ondo State counterpart Rotimi Akeredolu have visited the troubled Shasha community in Ibadan, where they appealed for calm and peaceful coexistence between the Hausa community and their Yoruba hosts.
Seyi Makinde, accompanied by Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, lamented the incidents, stressing the need for peaceful cohabitation among various groups in the state as panacea for growth and development, while assuring the people that the police and other security agencies will carry out a thorough investigation into the crisis towards finding a lasting solution to security challenges affecting the area. Both governors appealed to residents of the area to desist from taking laws into their hands and let peace reign in the community.
For our law enforcement agents, they have to step up their game. We ask that they dominate that area. We don't want to lose even half a soul right now. So we'll continue to monitor the situation and we'll continue to play our part.
We are all brothers. There could be one problem or the other, but this time will soon pass, and that our people should remain calm. Sheath your sword. There's no need for us to fight. There's no need for any counter-attack. There's no need for any reprisal. We are brothers.
Oyo State government recently imposed curfew on Shasha community due to the ethnic clash that ensued in the area last Friday.
Meanwhile, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has expressed deep sadness over the mayhem and tragic loss of lives that occurred at the Shasha market in Ibadan, calling on the people and their leadership to cooperate with government and security agencies towards ensuring the return of peace, which has been in existence in the community for decades. The Vice President was speaking actually after visiting the family of late Lateef Jakonde, Governor of Lagos State in the Second Republic.
Reiterating that violence and chaos know no tribe or religion and put everyone at risk, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says government, as a duty, will continue to work with the security agencies for effective strategies that will end the security challenges in the country, and that community leaders' efforts must be geared towards peaceful coexistence among all.
And there's so many different initiatives, as you know, going on now. That's the role of government. That's the duty of government. And we must do it. We mustn't fail in that duty. But the citizen must support government and must never allow a situation where we take the law into our own hands.
The Vice President, accompanied by his wife, Oludolapo, was received by the widow of late Lateef Kayode Jakonde, a one-time governor of Lagos State and Minister of Works and Housing under the Abuja regime. And this is what the Vice President says about the renowned journalist and politician commonly referred to as Baba Kekere.
That he remains a beacon to those who believe that public service can be done honestly, can be done diligently, with the welfare of the people being the primary purpose. I mean, we all know that Jakonde came from the stock of Papa Obafemi Awolowo and what today is referred to as progressive politics.
Similarly, Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila and former President Olusegun Obasanjo visited the Jakondes at their Ilupeju residence to console the family over the loss.
But very rarely do you find people who live both quantitatively and qualitatively, and he was such a person.
He was a man who came to this world, and what he found, he made it better than he found it, and that is what levy is all about.
Now, still on security, governors of the Northwest states and service chiefs have resolved to adopt a holistic approach and new strategies in dealing with the security challenges confronting the region and the entire country.
A renewed commitment to ending security challenges in the Northwest. As these stakeholders in the fight against insecurity in Nigeria, the National Security Advisor, service chiefs, the state governors converge on Kaduna to chart a way forward.
Have decided to work on a whole of government approach in combination with a whole of society approach to achieve a whole of nation results. That is why we are engaging you. President Buhari is emphatic, he is committed, he is determined, he is relentless in his vigorous pursuit to bring an end to insecurity in this country, and I want to assure you that that will happen.
We are working to ensuring that there is a difference. The service chiefs and I just took over the reins of leadership of the armed forces barely 2 weeks ago. And so you would expect that some reorganization is currently ongoing.
Governors of the Northwest states called for calm, urging religious and traditional rulers to continue to preach tolerance and remain vigilant towards checking criminal elements in their domains.
To support our military, our police and security agencies, not only with prayers, but with calls for them to be better equipped.
We're looking forward to seeing the end of insecurity in Nigeria.
The meeting is expected to reconvene at a later date to collate and harmonize fresh ideas, particularly from religious and traditional rulers in the worst affected areas, towards consolidating on the new strategy.
Governors of the Northwest states there and the NSA as well as the service chiefs are reiterating efforts to combat criminality and outlawry in their domains. Now, the political class has been reminded of the need for them to close ranks towards the attainment of a more united Nigeria. This is a position of the Nigerian Youth Democratic Party and some other political leaders.
Kidnapping, arbitrary perpetration of violence and general insecurity in some parts of the country have become common news headlines. Leadership of the Nigeria Youth Democratic Party believes that making Nigeria greater than Nigerians is a possible way out of these challenges.
If you have love for your country, you will not involve in banditry or the issue of Boko Haramism and whatsoever.
A 16-man board of trustees chaired by Archbishop Sam Zuga was also unveiled in an effort towards active participation in the 2023 general elections.
Insincerity should be abolished. We should be sincere to ourselves before we can be sincere to our country.
In a similar initiative towards building a better country, the Patriotic Action Nigeria, chaired by the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, in the 2019 general election, General John Bo, is of the view that no one can come from the outside to fix Nigeria, but Nigerians themselves, especially the political elites.
The unity of Nigeria is the key to youth development, hunger eradication, and women empowerment. All these are possible only when Nigeria becomes united.
I want Nigeria to remain a united nation, a united country.
He also identified the traditional leaders as important stakeholders of the Nigerian project.
Our guest this week on the Talking Points series on political updates is former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Usani Uguru Usani. He says the nation has managed the challenges posed by COVID-19 stoutly, but lists security as a prerequisite for progress and development.
Several countries, because the consequence of COVID-19 in 2020 has collapsed many economies, in spite of the fact that we are not where we expect to be. But I have seen recent indices of economic assessment suggesting that we are making progress. And so without any form of exactitude. But generally, knowing that the global effect is affecting every nation, and Nigeria is able to absorb aspects of it with the presidential initiative also to introduce certain palliative measures to citizens, I think we have not fared terribly bad, though it's bad and we are hoping for recovery. Well, you know, as citizens, it becomes almost impossible to operate when the environment is not conducive enough. So, as government, we need to create the environment that will enable people flourish in enterprise, which means the government is supposed to not just give money, just giving money to people on their claims of credit without making available the necessary fertile environment to utilize the resources will only amount to business failures. So in my view, just as they are pursuing certain sectors like power, infrastructure development, yes, this will be a serious complement on the efforts of the individuals. But as individuals, we need to be quite resilient and determined to invest in the primary sector being agriculture. Because today we have seen that all the synthetic sectors are almost failing. Agriculture and the service sector are the only ones that are prevailing. And then the technology sector. So these three are quite important. But the technology sector can only absorb people with skills, and it occupies a very small percentage of the populace. In agriculture, everybody can go there because we already have the substrate, which is the fertile soils in Nigeria. We have the land mass. But the other thing is that government has to ensure security for even that to prevail. Because today, our forest environments, our farmlands have become habitats for insecurity. And so government must tackle that security aspect very, very necessarily. Based on what has happened in the last cultivation season, I sense that there will be a hard time for Nigerians when we expect harvest. Well, thank God they opened borders for some imports, but that will not solve the problem, because that in itself has another negative effect on the economy. Because when the forex depletes, then the economy gets weaker, and it bears on the individual household economies. So it's a complex matrix that needs everybody to apply themselves. Unfortunately, not all of us will understand it. And so some of us will continue in the activities that impact negatively against us without knowing or understanding the consequences. So government has to keep doing what they have to do. First, security. Two, continue to encourage the citizens by way of developing the sectors that are necessary for individual investments.
On a cheering note, this week, Nigeria's Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala made history as she became the first woman and the first African to lead the World Trade Organization, WTO. Okonjo-Iweala's appointment was confirmed in a special meeting of the General Council of the Geneva-based Global Trade Governing Body.
But she, founded in 1995 with all her 5 predecessors men.
Wow, this is a very significant moment for the WTO. On behalf of the General Council, I extend our warmest congratulations to Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala on her appointment. So agreed.
Dr. Okonjo-Iweala is taking the helms of affairs at WTO at a very challenging time when the global trade is nosediving following the COVID-19 pandemic, and when the Africa Continental Free Trade Area is coming on board to effectively remove trade barriers among African countries.
An African being at the forefront, being the Director General of the World Trade Organization, whose role is to enable fair trade between nations, we cannot but have a positive effect on what we're trying to do in Africa.
The challenges facing the WTO are numerous and tricky, but they are not insurmountable. There is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel if we work together in a transparent manner that builds trust, builds bridges, diffuses political tensions, and encourages convergence.
Her term starts on the 1st of March 2021.
And Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala's appointment has attracted a lot of good wishes across the world, with the confirmation seen as putting a round peg in a round hole.
The European Union described Ngozi's appointment as historic, having a woman and from Africa to help the World Trade Organization since inception. The International Trade Council also rejoiced with Mrs. Iweala, promising to work with her to realize the multilateral trading that will bring the voices of MSMEs forward. OPEC Secretary General Mohamed Sanusi Barkindo commended the General Council of the World Trade Organization for the historic nature of the appointment of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. I have known Ngozi for many years. Her strong will and determination would drive her to tirelessly promote free trade to the benefit of people worldwide. We are the words of Christine Lagarde, former managing director of the International Monetary Fund, while congratulating the new DG of WTO. And the former Liberian president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, said it is a honor to witness new WTO DG's groundbreaking journey. And back home, the president of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, urged the new Director General to deploy her intellect, experience, energy, and integrity in leading the WTO to promote global prosperity through fair trade. And the Speaker House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, says the unanimous confirmation of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala by the General Council of the WTO is a testament to her years of experience in the financial sector, both at home and abroad. And the Foreign Affairs Minister, Geoffrey Oyama, in a congratulatory message, described Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala's appointment as well-deserved.
And coming back home, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has called for the outright cancellation of the ongoing APC members' registration and revalidation exercise in Kwara State.
Information and Culture Minister, who arrived his Oro polling unit 006 Ward 2, was taken aback with the avalanche of complaints by party members who have been thronging the place to have their membership revalidated or register afresh. The minister, who was visibly not disposed with the process, called for an outright cancellation of the exercise.
There seems to be a deliberate policy for exclusion by the registration team from Abuja and their collaborators. It seems there's a plan to deregister even high-ranking members and stakeholders who have paid their dues to this party and without whose contribution this government will not have been in place.
Lai Mohammed maintained that the demands are irreducible demands for peace in the state, as all efforts at forming a common ground to move the party forward has failed.
There seems to be a policy to massively disenfranchise or deregister APC members in Kwara State. This has left many members disillusioned. Based on the communication that I have received from APC stakeholders across the state on the report of the monitoring teams and the glaring non-compliance with the stipulated guidelines, we, the critical stakeholders of the APC in Kwara State, hereby demand immediate cancellation of the APC membership registration exercise in Kwara State.
Again, the John Amboyi-led registration committee is equally being accused of deliberate attempt of disenfranchising members of the party in the state.
And before we go, let's return to some security issues as we wrap up. We have the breakdown resolutions of the meeting of critical stakeholders in the North on the issue of security.
The high-profile meeting attracted Chairman of the Northern Governors Forum and Governor of Plateau State, Samuel Bako Lalong, and representatives of governors from the three geopolitical zones of the region, as well as elders of Northern extraction, led by Professor Abdullahi Angu. The meeting resolved to take appropriate steps in ensuring that the unfortunate and avoidable killings in Shasha Market in Oyo State and other violent crimes threatening the corporate existence of the country are addressed.
Part of the meeting came out we should find ways of also calming the nerves and also to assure our northern brothers that yes, measures are being taken. We don't want to say we will talk about asking people to go away, but then when you have issues like this, you look at the way forward, very matured way forward, and that was what we discussed. And then also to address some of the issues, the problem that is expected on the side of government, both federal and state governors.
We've urged Northerners to exercise restraint and maturity and responsibility. We are asking Nigerians from the southern part of the country to desist acts that provoke other Nigerians. We believe that every Nigerian owes a duty to be responsible and to recognize the fact that this is one country. We have people all over the place. The last thing we want in the north is for any attack on anybody who is innocent.
The leaders say a delegation of northern governors has met with Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, to prevent further breach of peace and bring perpetrators of the heinous crime to justice.
Many thanks to Abubakar Usman Akwanga for that last report. That's the size of political update for today. Thanks for watching. We hope to be back on Friday where we delve more into the security issues and, of course, speak with the stakeholders. My name is Fisal Gunfi. Thanking you for staying tuned and urging you to stay with Nigerian Television Authority where we give you the very best of news, reviews, previews, and interviews. Bye-bye now.